Your job is basically very important. A job is very important. Your income, I have to say, is very important to you. Sometimes it adds to your identity as well. So if you lose that buffer that can help you relieve the stress. People in a situation might think, okay, I'm gonna make one decision now. It can be either to harm themselves or to harm others. Uh, and it's important to keep calm.
Guys, just know that if you're on that list to be laid off, that it's not the end. It's only the beginning of something new. Every I think someone, I don't know who said it. If one door closes, a new one will always open. And in order to do that, in order to give you an idea of how things can change within a year, we have selected this video from John Bertal. A lot of people know him from the series The Walking Dead. Great actor. Also, he was also on The Punisher. Also one of the best Marvel series they had created the past year or so, 3 years or so. I think they haven't created a new series yet. But great actor, and he will tell you a story of how in a year's time his life changed.
I was walking my dogs in Venice Beach, and I, uh, I stopped because I saw there's like a big house party. It was this thing called First Fridays in Venice where people could drink on the street, and I saw this older couple and they were playing the didgeridoo. You know the didgeridoo is? Okay, so they're playing that's pretty good, bro. And yeah, so they were playing the didgeridoo, and they were probably like a couple in their 60s. And I saw this one guy outside the party who was kind of like a ringleader who's dancing around, drinking 40s. You know, they're kind of like want to be tough guys. And the guy went over to the woman who was playing the didgeridoo, and he lifted it up and he like put it on his crotch. So it looked like this old woman was like blowing his crotch. And I remember just like looking at her husband, and he was just like broken. And like I saw this couple, like they had to pack their stuff up, and it was just like, and I don't know, Joe, I like there was like something about that. Like I was drawn to, like I was supposed to see it that day, and I like saw red. And like right at that point, that same guy, he called my dog over. My dogs are super well trained, and I walked them. They weren't on their leash. And I had this one dog named Boss, this great pit bull, and he's like, oh my gosh, look at that dog. We were probably 50 yards away. And he called the dog over, and Boss went over to him. And the guy's like petting my dog and kind of like roughing up my dog a little bit, just kind of like manhandle him because he's a big pit bull, whatever it was. And I called my dog back, and the guy held on to him and didn't let him come back to me. And again, man, some part of me wanted this to kind of happen, and I went over to him, and
Again?
It was the same guy, right?
Yeah, same
So
guy.
So, so I don't know the backstory, but was he having a bad day that day, or did that? So the incident with the instrument triggered, let's say, something. Does he say
No.
that?
So the instrument, the guy who picked up the instrument to his crotch was the same guy who called the dog.
Yeah. But he said it was like I was supposed to see it, etc. I mean, was
Let
he
the
having?
story develop.
Okay.
I grabbed my dog, and I was like, boss, let's go. And I pulled my dog away, and he's like, hey man, get off my dog. And one thing kind of led to another, but I started to walk away, and him and a couple of his friends started to follow me, and he pushed me in the back. And I turned around and I hit him with a right hand, and he got knocked out standing up.
Imagine being knocked out standing up. John has a right hand that can flat you out, I guess.
Probably from punching all those vampires.
Well, you mean zombies, but
Zombies, yeah.
And he fell down, and he cracked his head on the pavement. and his friends all kind of jumped on me. I tried to put my back against a tree and do what I could, but they started to get the better of me. Police came, and long story fucking long, you know, it looked like he wasn't waking up, and they were taking him away. I was like sitting there handcuffed to the side. Some friends of mine came. I got them to get my dogs out of there, but I'm on the side where there's police everywhere. People are like from that party were pouring beers on my head, and I'm just kind of sitting there. And then they took me down to Pacific Division, and the guy still wasn't waking up. And I'd gotten in trouble in the past in Washington, and the police were just saying like, hey man, like, if he doesn't wake up, that's kind of that. And I was handcuffed to this bench in the Pacific Division, and I remember just really having to take a piss, and nobody was letting me, and they were kind of giving me shit about what's going to happen if this guy doesn't wake up. And I remember sitting there on that bench that if this guy doesn't wake up and I'm going in that direction now, I knew, and it was as clear as any thought I've ever felt, that I was going to have to sort of get in touch. I was going to have to be the devil. I was going to, if I was going that route, all this acting shit, all this friends and fun, it's over. I got to go be the worst and most vicious part of myself if I'm going through that door. And it wasn't like something like trying to steal myself or act like I'm, man, I'm nothing special. But I was as sure of anything that that's what needed to happen. And it was clear. And I wasn't scared. I just knew it. But then my next thought, I just looked up and I was like, but if you can just get me out of this, and I remember just saying it, if you can just get me out of this, I swear to you, like I am done. Like I am done. And I will dedicate my life to my lady. I will dedicate my life to my work, and I will dedicate my life to you, and I will dedicate my life to service. Like I will dedicate my life. And, literally, man, I'm not trying to, 1 second later, cop came by and said the guy woke up. And, man, that could have gone anyway. And I know, again, you asked me about Walking Dead, but literally 1 year after that, July 3rd, 2010, I was on set of my first season of Walking Dead.
Wow.
And, not drinking, focused, engaged to be married, had my first kid on season 2. And again, man, I'm like so like profoundly humbled by that and grateful for that, like so grateful for it. But I'm also like aware of like how unfair it is that so many people don't get that shot, and it doesn't work out that way. And, but yeah, like getting to then kind of play a role like that had a real beginning, middle, and end kind of like built in, it was, and at a time in my life where I just totally stripped all the fat out of my life, the people I was hanging out with, the way I was behaving. I got ridiculously disciplined pretty much about every part of my life. And, yeah, so it was, so yeah, I'm sorry. It's such a grandiose.
No.
So yeah, thoughts, RJ?
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you how one small decision can have major consequences. Basically, you can lose it all if in 1 second you can lose it all. Relating to and not everyone has that opportunity, right? I say always to my clients that it's better to prevent than to remedy a situation. So it's always better to prevent. And so, with regards to, let's say, sticking to the theme of the day of employees, sometimes someone might lose his or her job. That person has bills to pay, expenses, has debt, has a bunch of things going on, maybe baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, whatever type of drama. And your job is basically very important. A job is very important. Your income, I have to say, is very important to you. Sometimes it adds to your identity as well. So if you lose that, you lose that buffer that can help you relieve the stress, other types of stresses, because now you can't pay to, you have money problems. Can't go to work to maybe get out of a particular situation. You can provide for your family, those type of things. And sometimes things like that, people in a situation might think, okay, I'm gonna make one decision now. It can be either to harm themselves or to harm others. And it's important to keep calm.